These are the best weapons in Overdrive. Let's talk about it. So YouTube, NoGoodEman coming to you today with the best weapons in Solo Leveling Rise Overdrive. So guys, in this video I want to talk to you guys about some dangerous weapon combinations, some good weapons you definitely want to be focusing on Overdrive regardless of your class. Honestly, I think some weapons are kind of universal because I've been seeing some weapons being used in every single class. So let's talk about some broken weapons. Again, this is not going to be a tier list. I know you guys have been asking for a tier list for a while, but I currently have not played with enough weapons to make a tier list. So I feel like if I make one right now at this moment, it's just going to be invalidated and with a lot of bias. But before we talk about the best weapons, make sure you leave a like on the video. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you don't miss a live or an upload. Now, the first thing to talk about is what is the most dangerous weapon combination you can come up with right now. Guys, it's gonna be this one right in front of me. So the Phoenix Soul 4 and the Shadow Scythe 3, really it's just gonna be a lot of the Phoenix Soul. As of right now, I've been seeing a lot, and I mean a lot of runs. Shout out to the speed runners of SLO. We got, let's say, X, Typal, Scooby, Pigeon. You guys have been going crazy. I've been seeing your clips and they've been going crazy, putting me on game with a lot of things and just other people in the community. Shadow Scythe, of course, we've known this has been a big weapon for a while. I've heard about the Phoenix Souls since release, but the way I've been seeing the Phoenix Soul being used as of right now is insane, and the damage output is also insane. This is probably one of the better weapons that you're going to want on your side, especially if you're either an elementalist or a ruler or any one of the long range classes. I think that if you're a duelist, you can still have good use. I use this on my duelist class right now, and I'm honestly thinking of bringing this to my assassin class because anytime I switch back to my assassin class, the Bruca Dagger just does not do it for me. But I will say that the damage output from the Phoenix Soul, the ability for you guys to chain smash over and over and get just the Phoenix Soul, let's say, flame weapons when all the phoenixes just fire out is insane. So with that, first weapon to glaze is going to be the Phoenix Soul, especially at the 4. Using Phoenix Rapid Fire increases the scorch damage for a certain amount of time. The number of Phoenixes fired with Chain Smash increases. After using Phoenix Rapid Fire, the Phoenix Soul's Chain Smash damage increases for a certain amount of time. So you use the weapon skill, it's going to increase your scorch damage, and anytime you chain smash, it's going to fire a bunch, and I mean a bunch of phoenixes, guys. And remember, you can chain smash a bunch of ways, but a main way to do it is going to be either back dashing, forward dashing, let's say after you guys hit a deflect combo, which is why the Phoenix Soul is surprisingly good for the duelist class. I usually hit a deflect, I do my deflect combo, counter attack, and then my chain smash is available. So honestly, the Phoenix Soul is pretty good for almost any class. I've yet to use it as an assassin class, but I pretty much am going to use it whenever I make my ruler video, whenever I make my elementist video, and I'm probably just gonna use it on my assassin when the time comes. After that, you guys saw it, Shadow Scythe is going to be another great weapon. I think that the main reason Shadow Scythe is going to be a great weapon is because Jinnu gains super armor while holding down this button, and then it's also going to increase the weapon skill itself, Essence Harvest, critical hit rate, and damage. So you're getting a lot, and I mean a lot of damage when you guys are utilizing this weapon. Let's go ahead and preview some of the weapon skills. This is holdable, so any skill that shows the kind of down clicking arrow, make sure you guys are holding that just in case you didn't know. A lot of you guys do know this, so I don't have to necessarily worry about this. And there's a lot of weapons kind of like this. Again, if we keep on going, I personally like the Bruca Daggers. Bruca Dagger 5 is going to be a very, and I mean a very great weapon for you guys to utilize, especially for the assassin class, right? Because we're dealing with things like agility and the Nimblest effect. Increases Jinnu's agility stat by 10 when Nimble moves. Jinnu swiftly and precisely targets the enemy's weak points. Targets hit by the dagger take damage at a slightly increased critical hit rate and increased critical hit damage from Slayer of the Icers, the weapon skill. This is also guaranteed to land as a back attack, and it just teleports you right behind an opponent. So with the assassin class's main priorities being getting behind your opponent, doing a bunch of damage, and having the overdrive skill be dependent on activation if you are behind an opponent, Bruca's Daggers is not a bad weapon to be utilizing. Along with that, I do want to talk about the Divine Quarterstaff. The Divine Quarterstaff is currently bugged. I'm hearing that the devs already know about this, but when you guys use Heavenly Order Strike, this actually will glitch you out so badly. So if you watch my duelist video, and eventually I was using Divine Quarterstaff, and then sometime in the WLBL guide part of the video, I just kept teleporting anywhere, any and everywhere when I was counterattacking. Let's say when I was deflecting, when I was using deflection or reflect, or anytime I was shadow stepping, I did not teleport on the boss. I was teleporting anywhere but the boss. I think that's because of the Divine Quarterstaff. I've not used the staff at all today, and I have not glitched out when it comes to my teleports. Again, the teleports aren't perfect, so maybe it happened, I think, one time, but it happened way less now that I do not use the staff anymore. So unfortunately, staff is looking pretty bugged, but I still like it as a weapon. Does a lot, and I mean a lot of damage. After the site, I do want to talk about Thetis' Grimoire because this is a weapon that I'm currently grinding for. This is going to be big, especially for you elementalists, and some tactics I hear is running the Burning Dimran's Grimoire with Thetis' Grimoire for the elementalist buff, and then if you run 2 books, you can just, you know, max out the focus class. I don't know if that's a meta. If you're an elementalist, let me know how you're building your elementalist class with the best weapons so I can be hip on game, right? I am not perfect, so that's how we grow as a community. This one is pretty cool. Gina's gonna gain super armor with this. When it hits the target, it's gonna inflict cold ice, and then enemies in the rainy zone take increased water damage. So again, not a bad weapon. If we're just talking about the weapons that I have unlocked right now, we can also talk about, let's say, Kasaka Venom Fang, very good early game weapon. I'm not really going to talk about early game weapons though. Night Killer, this was a decent weapon. I think I didn't use it anywhere near the end of hard mode though. I will say it's a good S rank weapon to get early on. And when I mean early on, if you just look along this line, there's not many S rank weapons you get this early. Night Killer is one of those S rank weapons. You can get Lustrous Dragon Sword 3 a little bit earlier than that, and then you can get Rosin's Blade. I'm hearing that Rosin's Blade is also very, very well put. I think that you get increased critical hit rate or critical hit damage when you guys utilize this skill, so you definitely don't want to sleep on the Rosin's Blade. Again, it's an early weapon that you can get to S rank a little bit earlier, so it might help you guys earlier in that journey. I haven't heard too much on the demonic Plumflower Sword. I will say I think that the Plum Sword has some use, but right now it probably just isn't what a lot of people are looking for. But I have a question. If you guys are using the demonic Plumflower Sword, what class are you using it for? I think I would probably use it for either a duelist or a ruler, but I'm not too sure which is the better class to utilize that on. Regardless, again, if you guys want to know just flat out what are the top weapons in the game, Shadow Scythe, Phoenix Soul, and you really, that's really it. If we're just talking about the best 2 speedrunners themselves getting max damage, it's going to be the Phoenix Soul. Phoenix Soul all day is just going to be completely broken, along with the Shadow Scythe teleporting you behind an opponent, increase the critical hit rate and critical hit damage of both of those. Let's go ahead and just talk about any other weapon I haven't talked about yet. I have not had the pleasure of using Vulcan's Rage. I haven't seen too many clips with people using Vulcan's Rage, so that lets me know that Vulcan's Rage might be similar to the Vulcan's Rage in Arise, which, if you guys know, Vulcan's Rage is ass, but I'm not saying it's ass. Again, this is not a tier list, but I just haven't seen it being used. Orc's Broadsword, I will say that this is a good weapon for stagger, but if you're running this on the duelist class, I would rather just run 4 stagger skills instead of a stagger weapon. But we did max this out. I ran it, I tested it out a little bit. I didn't like the damage output of it, so personally, I'm not gonna run that in my duelist class. We already talked about Thetis' Grimoire. Burning Demon's Grimoire, I don't know too much about it. I know that this one right here, the Naga Guardian Trident, this one I keep hearing about. This is going to be good for elementalists, I believe, because I think they have something in here right here. When attacking with this skill, there's a chance to increase elemental damage, stacks up to 6 times. So this could have some use for any type of elemental weakness battle, for any type of elementalist user. I'm not sure what else that would be useful for, but again, when the elementalist video comes out, I'm probably either going to have the, let's say, Phoenix Soul, either with the Trident or with the book. But if you guys have a better recommendation, feel free to drop it in the comments below. We're just talking about the rest of the S rank weapons I haven't covered. Frostbite Falchion, I have never used this weapon. I haven't heard people use this weapon either. It looks like when this target hits, his damage to normal monster increases, so maybe it's kind of like a mob control weapon. I'm not too hip on that game. Let's see the afterglow effect with Lustrous Dragon Sword. Thunder effect, significantly increasing his critical hit rate. This skill inflicts paralyzed to affect the target's hit with the lightning for a certain amount of time. Again, I think this is probably the earliest S rank you can get if you just go up and down. Yeah, it looks like the earliest S rank weapon you can get out of the bunch. Regardless, I think, again, I said it already, Phoenix Soul, Shadow Scythe, the top 2 weapons right now, and they're not, you know, going underneath any other weapon. I think Phoenix Soul and Shadow Scythe is such a good weapon combination, and I really wanted to make that video to kind of emphasize some great weapons that you guys want to be rocking within Overdrive. But What do you guys think, man? Out of all these weapons, how do you rank them? Let's say these 6 weapons right here. If you made it this far into the video, what are these weapons rankings from best to worst? And what are your best combinations and worst combinations in Overdrive? Go ahead and leave your thoughts, theories, and comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, and with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Y'all take care. Peace.